We have a little New World news for you in this one. We have update 1.9.3 coming up tomorrow, and here is what this update is all about. There are some changes to Flame Core, some changes to the Springtide Bloom event, some changes to Quest, and a few other things that we're going to go over here in this video. So the downtime for update 1.9.3 is going to begin at 11 p.m. PT or 6 o'clock a.m. UTC on May the 9th. It's going to include fixes to gear sets, the Springtide Bloom, and more. And then downtime is going to last about an hour. So for the Springtide Bloom event, there are some more changes coming into this event. They are changing the Beekeeper and Springtime Ruffles apparel sets. They have now been broken into individual purchases inside the Springtide event shop. They added a heart rune charge to the Wispy Wasp Swarm. I'm not incredibly sure what that means, so I'm interested to jump in tomorrow and see what this means. If somebody in the comments or one of you watching has any idea what this means, please let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to know your take on that. I really don't know what this means exactly. The Springtide Premium Token recipe, the one where you exchange Wispy Wasp goo, is now listed as Premium Token, and then now we can get 4 Springtide Jingle Coin bags a day, up from 3, so they buffed that a little bit as well. They also made a few changes to some quests here if you're interested in some of those, or if you've been trying to do some quests that have been bugged, maybe they fixed it for you. But here are some changes to some quests. We're not going to go over all those in this video. We have game modes. Outpost Rush. They fixed an issue that caused players to unintentionally bring game mode specific items like powder kegs into the open world. I had no idea that was an issue, but I'm glad they fixed it. The Imperium Forge Expedition, there was a fix to this as well, which I think this is actually pretty big. I like that they did this a lot because phantom hitboxes in New World are a problem, and I really love that they went back and fixed this. They say now that Commander Marius's Magma Ball hazard will now display a secondary ring to denote the area in which the impact shockwave will cause minor damage and stagger the player. Before, you would see the big ring, but if you were outside of the big ring, you would still take damage and get staggered. Now you're going to be able to see a secondary ring that's going to allow you to move all the way out of that ring so you can avoid damage altogether. That's an excellent change in my opinion, and something I hope they go back and do to a lot of the other dungeons or expeditions that have some of these phantom hitboxes and some of these crazy things happening in there. That would make PvE a whole lot better in my opinion. Then they have some economy progression and gear changes coming in. They fixed an issue that caused items in purchased gear set slots to return to players' inventories on login. That was kind of annoying. Glad they're fixing that. And then here's a pretty big change right here coming in for the economy. The open world elite chest and level 55 plus Varangian point of interest now have a 75% chance to drop a flame core down from 100. I didn't really realize there was a 100% chance for these to drop out of those elite chests, but now I do. But now they're getting nerfed to 75% chance to get a flame core out of those elite chests. They're also nerfing the regular chest. So now there's a 10% chance to drop the flame core down from 20%. I thought those were 15% for some reason and not 20% anyway, but nonetheless I was wrong there too, I guess. But it's going down from 20% to 10%, so flame core drops are getting nerfed a little bit. Unstable cast now costs 3 flame cores to craft, down from 10, but in order to, I guess, compensate for the lack of drops or the lower drop rate, they are making this change, which is a really big one for me, because 10 flame cores to craft one of those casts was absolutely absurd. Flame cores are pretty expensive and they take a little while to farm. So having 10 of them to get some randomized piece of gear that you didn't know what you were going to get, and they did improve that as well. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But this is a really good change. It's only going to cost you 3 flame cores to craft one of those items now. So now people will maybe want to actually use the forge to try to get gear instead of just a throwaway for your extra cores. Players can now craft 6 unstable casts daily, up from 3. So now you can also craft more of these casts and they cost less. So I think that's a great change as well. They also improved the quality of items generated by unstable casts from the flame core forge. This was done by removing PvP perks and resistance perks. So that's excellent news, because we know that the drops from the flame core forge are all human ward or human bane perks. We do not want those to be paired with PvP perks or resistance perks. That makes 0 sense. So now they're removing those perk buckets from the flame core forge, and we should be able to get some decent human ward or human bane items out of there. I still don't think it's going to solve the problem with attributes. You might get a focused great axe, for example, or whatever. But nonetheless, this is an excellent change. We now have a much better shot at getting good items from there. It's not going to cost us near as many cores as well. So overall, these to me are great changes. They also made, in my opinion, some really good changes to the season pass right here. They added several new activities for the season pass. They also fixed an issue where level 60 players sometimes will not receive the just getting started task in chapter 1. So that's really good. But this is the really good section to me. They added several new season pass activities. Kill 10 enemies in Merkgard, Imperial Palace, Malevolence, Eternal Pools, Beds of Tabajet, and then kill 2 named enemies or 20 elite enemies. All of these are named areas or elite areas in the game, and I think that's an excellent change too. It breaks it up a little bit, gives us more things to do on the season pass, so I think this is good. The more variety for the season pass, the better, in my opinion. They also adjusted the following PvP season activities. Earn flawless victory in PvP arena was changed to earn 1 victory in the PvP arena. So now it's no longer flawless. This is going to be a lot easier to get. And earn 1,000 PvP experience from valid player kills was changed to earn 100 PvP experience from valid kill players. That's going to be much easier to get as well. And now you only have to participate in 1 arena versus 3 to get that one marked off the list. So they nerfed that as well. It's going to be much easier to get. This is also a pretty big one. Deal 100,000 damage or healing in arena, which now changed to 50,000 damage or healing in arena. So it looks like they're just making the season pass activities a whole lot easier to complete, which I don't think is a bad thing necessarily. Earn 5,000 Azov Salt was changed to earn 1,000 Azov Salt. So that's also nerfed quite a lot. Complete 2 PvP faction missions was changed to complete 1 faction mission. Then they also adjusted the following crafting season pass activities. Craft 5 tier 5 weapons or apparel was changed to 3. Consume 10 tier 5 coatings was reduced to consume 2 tier 5 coatings. So there's very much a pattern. They're nerfing a whole lot of these things. And again, making this a whole lot easier. They also adjusted the following season journey tasks. Rush of Victory. Reduced required outpost rush wins from 10 to 5. Reduced required invasions from 2 to 1. Reduced required open world player kills from 50 to 15. That is quite the nerf. So that's going to make that a whole lot easier. Adjusted requirements for multiple season journey challenges, outpost rush domination. Reduced required outpost rush wins from 100 to 30. That is a 70 less. That is crazy. That's going to be way easier to get. And this is another one that I think is going to make players either happy or really unhappy. Depending on how long you've been trying to grind this serial killer title, they reduced it from required kills from 500 to 100. That is an incredible nerf. So now it's going to be a lot easier to get this title if you're after it. I know a ton of people in the game are trying to get this serial killer title. Now you only have to kill 100 people in open world versus 500. That is wild. If you're a person that's been grinding this out for a while and you're like right on the cusp of 500 kills, that kind of sucks. Or if you're somebody who's already gotten the 500 kills, that's kind of rough too. But nonetheless, hopefully you had a good time out there doing a little bit of open world PvP. But now it's nerfed a lot. Contestant control point. Reduced required faction control captures from 50 to 30. They reduced the required craft amount for legendaries from 125 to 100. And then they renamed to Mutation Master the Gimme Gold or Gimme Death titles. And then they changed the required expedition rating from gold to silver. So they nerfed that as well. So lots of nerfs coming into the season pass, which is pretty interesting. It's going to be a lot easier to do some of those tasks, which I think overall is going to be a good thing for most players. Then we have some quality of life improvements coming in with this patch as well. They're removing the gear set storage tooltip commands when your character is under level 25. These previously showed if you had purchased an additional gear set slot with another character. So thank goodness they're removing some of those tooltip commands and some of the things that just clutter up your screen for no reason. That's nice. They added translations for the Firestorm Heart Rune tooltip, added additional translations for the territory planning board, and then the main menu has returned to a standard music soundtrack. And then finally, they fixed an issue with the leaderboards where the rewards countdown message displayed earlier than intended, and it stated that the current season had ended even though it was still in progress. That's a nice fix as well. They then also fixed a rare issue that prevented players from turning off their PvP flag. So I didn't know that was a thing. I'm super glad they fixed that though, because that could be incredibly annoying for some players. I didn't experience that, but it's a good fix. I'm glad they're getting it done. Then they have audio. They lowered the amount of echo when an NPC spoke within a small interior space. I kind of like the echo, but sometimes I did experience this. The echo was quite a lot. So they lowered that a little bit. So hopefully it'll sound a little bit better. But that's it. That's the patch notes coming in hot. There are some pretty big changes coming in for this patch 1.9.3 in New World. Overall, I think some of these are pretty good. We have some Springtide Bloom changes coming in. The big things were the things to the season pass. And then, of course, all the Flame Core changes. I personally think the Flame Core changes are excellent for the future of the game and for the future of things like that being implemented into the game. I thought the Flame Core edition or the Flame Core Forge edition to the game was overall a positive addition, but then they made those Flame Cores bind on equip, so now people sell them versus using them. So maybe this will entice more people to use the Flame Core Forge to actually get items out of it. We'll see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanted to make sure you're aware of the news. This patch, again, is going to be live on May the 10th. The servers are going to go down at 11 o'clock p.m. PT on May the 9th, which is today. So hopefully you guys enjoy this patch, and I hope you enjoyed the news. If you did enjoy this video or you just like New World content in general, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate that as well. We have a few new builds coming up. I've been doing a lot of logging in New World. We're going to post a video as to whether or not it's profitable to go do some logging. Can you make money logging? That's what we're working on now. It's been quite the journey. But nonetheless, we have some videos coming your way. Thank you guys again for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Come hang out with us on Twitch every Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. CST. We're there every Monday through Friday. But that'll do it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.